My next guest is David Burden, who's the CEO of AsdeQ Labs. Thanks for joining us, David.
Thanks very much, Alan.
AsdeQ is spelled ASDEQ Labs, and you joined it in 2012. Is that correct? But it wasn't very old. It wasn't very old, the business, when you.
No, it's only a year old at that point in time. I joined in December, and it was founded by two gentlemen. One being Mike Newman, the technologist behind the business, and the other being David Bartlett, the former Premier of Tasmania. So first you better tell us what it does. Well, AsdeQ Labs has got a product called AsdeqDocs. It's all about enterprises securely enabling and getting their files from their corporate repositories onto mobile devices, including tablets, smartphones and notebooks. And it does that without using the cloud. And so it does it securely while increasing productivity for mobile workers.
Does it do it wirelessly?
Well, it uses the internet to transfer documents in a secure way. So it encrypts everything before it transmits them, and then it stores them securely and encrypted on devices.
But without using the cloud? Without
using the cloud. So it's very different to most of the other solutions that people are using to move documents out of their corporates into onto their device, because it means a corporation still retains control of their IP, which is the big thing that just about every other solution is lacking.
I take it David Bartlett decided to do the business because he was sick of lugging paper around.
That's right. So David and Mike were working. David was a Premier of Tasmania at the time, and was followed around with a couple of guys and lots of boxes of files and folders for all of his different meetings. Being Premier, you need to have all your documents with you all the time. And iPad 1 was released by Apple, and Mike and David are both technologists, so they had very early adopters. And the boys were having a conversation, and David said, "I need all my documents on this device rather than have these guys with all my documents in a car in a boot." And he said, "Mike, go and find the app from the App Store that will do that." And of course, it didn't exist.
But there are solutions for putting. There are lots of solutions for putting documents onto devices. Like Dropbox, for example.
Well, exactly, and Dropbox is one solution, but putting government papers and important information onto a public cloud service is probably not the best security practice that anyone can undertake. The other difficulty is that most enterprises only want one version of a document. They want a point of truth, and they normally want that to reside back in the enterprise, and that's really important.
Right, so it's secure and it's one version. There's no copies that are being made.
So the whole premise is that the enterprise is a point of truth, and if employees choose to have a version of that document on their device, it's synchronised with the point of truth. So if it's changed back in the repository in the enterprise, it's automatically updated on the device. And similarly, if an employee edits a document, then it's automatically synchronised back in the repository and also on everybody else's device.
And so when you became CEO of the business in 2012, so not much, about less than a year ago, in fact.
9 months ago.
So were they selling apps at the time?
The product had just been launched, so the product was almost 2 years in development. And the reason why it was in development for such a long time is when they went out and spoke to the enterprise, they realised that documents were stored in not just one location. In fact, in David Bartlett's example, his documents were in 8 different types of corporate repository, things like SharePoint, Exchange, Trim, Documentum, and a whole range of different repositories. So to build a complete solution, we had to build plugins and enablers for all of those different types of enterprise repository. So right. Today we have 18 different connections that we connect into, which is more than, again, anybody else in the marketplace.
You mean different types of connections?
Different types of document repositories.
So how come they needed a CEO then? I mean, didn't they have a CEO already?
Well, Mike Newman was a founder, and as you know, with many technology founders, they're sometimes extremely focused on building the technology, and in the go-to-market and sales strategy may not be their strongest skill. And Mike is a a pragmatist and honest and understands that that's not his best skill. So he asked me to come on board and drive the international sales of the business.
And how much does it cost?
The product ranges depending on size, but it's there's two components. There's the server-side component, which sits on enterprise servers, is generally less than $10,000, and per user it's around $170 per annum.
Right, but is it useful to an individual, or is it only an enterprise product?
Well, this is the thing that we really focused on, because one of the problems with BYOD, bring your own device technology in the enterprise, is that it is their own device and employees love using applications that they're used to. And if they can find a simpler, easier way to get around a corporate system using a cloud-based solution, they will. So when we built AsdeqDocs, it was built with usability in mind. So not only can you access all your documents, you can search for them. So from your iPhone, for example, I can do a complete search on every one of my corporate repositories at once and look for that document with the name climate warming in it and bring all those documents down onto my device. I can then annotate or edit or share those documents, depending on what I'm allowed to do by my enterprise, and make that device and those documents really useful in my hand.
So you can change the point of truth, as you put it, with the device.
Well, you don't actually change the point of truth. So you bring a version down onto your iPad or whatever device you're using. It's stored securely on your device, and it means you've got full access to that document, whether you're online or offline. So it's great when you're flying because you can actually be productive. And when you go back online, it synchronises automatically back with the point of truth, and that document is replaced.
Right. So what about you? What did you do before?
I've done a few things. I've always been in technology, and I really started off in the information business a long time ago. Looking at different ways of selling information. In those days, I was using 0055 and then 1900 and then premium rate SMS. So my former business was a business called Legion Interactive, which I founded with a couple of partners, and we built that into one of Australia's largest information bureaus and promotional marketing companies. We were very active in television, so we designed and implemented all the voting on TV, Big Brother, Australian Idol, all the interactivity for television.
So you've got a lot to answer for then.
I do. I do.
So you're cooking something else up in Asdec Labs?
Very excited about this product. I joined this company because the product was so good, and I think on a global scale it's a clear winner in terms of what they've designed and built with this product. I'm having a lot of fun taking that to market.
And you think it will succeed globally?
I think we'll get there. It's a global market's pretty big to open. We're trying to open the US and Australia simultaneously. We're a bootstrap funded startup, and so that's a lot of fun. But we're getting there.
You sold any yet?
Oh yeah, we've sold. Yeah, we've got lots of seats out there.
Right. How many?
We've got about 7,500, I think, at this point in time.
Oh right. Okay.
So it's starting to move.
So is the business anywhere near break even yet?
Our plans are by the end of this year for it to be break even.
Right.
So it's a pretty rapid.
Well, that's phenomenal.
Turnaround, yeah.
Yeah. So, it must be a good product.
It's a great product. It really is, and you can download it free from the App Store. I should throw that in.
It's been great talking to you, David. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Alan.
I've been talking to David Burden, who's the CEO of Asdec Labs.